We open in a small coastal town back in 2017. And our first character, this very judgmental-looking cat. From its perch on a rooftop, our cat overlord is on patrol. Just beneath, it is a quiet, blue-haired boy walking all by himself. That guy's weird, someone says. A pair of guys are watching him. What's his deal? The kid with the bowl cut explains he's the new transfer student. And the weird part, he never ever talks. He takes a swig of his coffee, getting serious. But it's more than that. It's not just that he's quiet. It's like he's deeply silent. Yeah, I have no idea what that means either, my friend. The other one is just as confused as we are, asking what he means by that. But before he can explain, a white car comes barreling down the narrow street, and the blue-haired kid, without even looking, steps directly into its path. The driver freaks out, slamming the brakes with a deafening screech. The car stops just inches from him. The driver is absolutely losing his mind. What is wrong with you? Hey, you punk. You think you have extra lives or something? Why did you jump out in front of me? But despite the man's rage, the boy just slowly turns his head, his expression completely blank. He does not care at all. The guys in the alley are baffled. What is he doing? Wait, look at his leg. And there it is. The same fluffy cat from before is rubbing against his leg, purring its little heart out. Dude was just trying to save the cat. The angry driver grabs the kid by his collar, accusing him of trying to pull some kind of insurance scam. The onlookers can't believe it. Wow, even in this situation, he won't say a single word. One of them tries to call the cat over. See, I told you, the bull-cut kid says grimly. It's like he has some disease where if he talks, he'll die. He just stays silent no matter what. Just then, a girl with gray hair runs onto the scene, shouting, "Mister, wait a minute. What's going on?" She rushes over to the blue-haired boy. "Jian, are you okay? What happened?" The driver, still gripping Xi's tie, tries to explain that the kid just walked right in front of his car. The girl looks at Ji worriedly. She then turns to the driver and bows deeply. "First of all, we are so sorry. Can't you please let it go just this once?" She puts on her best puppy dog eyes and begs. "Please, just this one time, mister. Gi isn't that kind of person. And what do you know? It works." The driver calms down and tells them to just be more careful. The guys in the alley are seriously impressed. Wow, Yana just stepped in and solved the whole thing. She's the queen of class 5. The kid holding the cat asks it, "Right, kitty? Big mistake." The cat goes completely feral with a furious hiss. It launches itself in his face. After mauling the poor guy, the cat just lands gracefully and trots off like nothing happened. At that exact moment, a gorgeous girl with long dark hair walks by. The kid who just got his face rearranged perks right up a bloody mess and waves. "Arum, hi," even with his face looking like shredded cheese. He puts on a huge grin. "Good morning." And Aram. She completely ignores him, walking right past without a single glance. Ice cold. His friend points out her cold shoulder, but the injured kid is totally smitten. Isn't it attractive, though? If class 5 has Yena, our class has Arium. Attracted my foot. It feels like she's just straight up ignoring you. But he insists, no, it's because she's shy. His friend raises an eyebrow. Huh, so, she doesn't talk either. Wait, so she's just like that other guy? The injured student explodes. Don't compare her to some random dude. She's totally different. You take that back. And so, the students head to school, each one lost in their own little world. Inside the loud, chaotic classroom, G sits at his desk, perfectly still. He closes his eyes, trying to block out all the noise and chatter around him. Suddenly, his eyes snap open to a sound. Yeah, and her friend are at his desk. Meditation time again today, huh? Oh, this one looks like a professional photo shoot. It's been a whole month since you transferred, and you do the same meditation routine every single day. She shows him a picture she took on her phone. I snapped this to commemorate it. What do you think? If you don't like it, you could just delete it. She reassures him. Don't feel like you have to say yes, just because I helped you out earlier. He seems to give a silent nod of approval, and she beams. Thank you, G. Suddenly, the classroom door slams open with a loud bang. A tall, intimidating student strides into the room. This is Sayo Taku, the class bully. You know the type. The whole room goes dead silent as every single student turns to look at him. Tu scans the room with a smug look on his face like he owns the place. He overhears the girls talking and giggling about the photo. Suddenly, he places a heavy hand on Jan's shoulder, smiling menacingly. The vibe here looks pretty good. He smirks. Jan, why are you always surrounded by girls? You even kind of look like one. Tu grabs G and LT. Unk and GT. S wrist, holding his arm up. Dude, look at your wrist. It's a total girl's hand, he exclaims, rubbing G and LT. Unk and GT. S hand on his own cheek. It's so smooth, I might just fall for you. G and LT. Unk and GT. S expression hardens just a little, his eyes narrowing. He's not amused. Yana looks over, clearly annoyed. Stop it, will you? It's not funny. Tu completely ignores her, patting Jian's head like a puppy. It's because he's so cute. He's just adorable. He then turns his attention back to Yena. By the way, I told you to come to the karaoke room yesterday. Why didn't you show? She looks away, rolling her eyes. I told you I was tired and going to bed early. Can't you understand that? Tu es faz d'arquins. No, you should have come because your boyfriend called for you. I was waiting a long time. He warns her not to skip out on him today. She just gives a vague I'll see while staring at her phone. One of his lackeys immediately brings over a second chair for him. Total follower. Tu kicks his feet up on a desk, leaning back like he's the king of the world. After class, we transition to PE where the students are playing outside. After the game, G is sitting alone on the steps looking exhausted. Yana comes over fanning herself. Man, it's so hot. She takes a seat right next to him and asks, aren't you hot? She then aims her little portable fan right at G's back. Here, should I do this for you? She smiles, enjoying the breeze. Feels so refreshing, right? G just gives her a quick sideways glance, staying completely silent. He just laughs, clearly amused by his quiet personality. Meanwhile, a few feet away, the guys are in a heated game of soccer. A player yells for the ball, and his teammate shouts back, leave it to me. He winds up and kicks the ball with everything he's got, sending it rocketing across the court. Unfortunately, his aim is terrible, and the ball goes flying straight toward an unsuspecting two. It smacks him square in the side of the head with a loud whack. The kid who kicked it is instantly terrified. Tu, iemzo sori. I was just trying to pass it. Tu just smirks, brushing his hair back into place. Ah, shoot. My hair got all messed up. Then, to everyone's shock, he just laughs it off and claps his hands. Don't worry about it. Let's keep playing. Wrong. As the game resumes, he shoots a dark, menacing glare over at G and Yena sitting together. Bro is not happy. Later, Jan is chilling by himself on a rooftop enjoying a sandwich and a soda. Suddenly, a door nearby slams open with a bang. The kid from the soccer game stumbles out, his hair a complete mess. Please, I told you I was sorry, he begs. Taksu and his goons emerge, and Tu is holding a buzzing hair clipper. Come here, you little punk, he sneers. They've got the poor guy totally cornered. Shut your mouth and get over here, Tu orders. He leans in, his expression pure evil. Do you need to taste some blood before you come to your senses? The student is so terrified, he collapses to his knees. Just then, one of Tu's goons spots G sitting on the bench nearby. The goon jumps back in surprise. Wah, you scared me. What are you doing here? The whole crew turns to look. Tu just smirks G. What? Were you eating lunch all by yourself over here? He calls it creepy, then tells John to watch closely because he's about to make a masterpiece. With a wicked laugh, he starts shaving the kid's head, saying he's making him look much better. He pats the student's head, showing off his work. What do you think? The poor kid is left with a horrible buzz cut with two little tufts of hair left on top like devil horns. Tu turns to the silent GI. Hey, aren't you going to laugh? When he gets no reaction, Tu gets cocky. You don't like my masterpiece? You're so picky. Then his focus turns to G. He shoves the buzzing clippers right in Giant's face. So, shall I create a perfect masterpiece? What do you say? He dares G to say something if he doesn't want it, knowing full well that he never talks. When G stays quiet, Tu thinks he's won. So you're not going to talk, huh? I guess that means you're okay with it, right? He brings the clippers right up to GI and LT, Unk and GT, S hair. Don't worry, I'll make it pretty. GI and LT, Unk and GT, S eyes remain expressionless. Tu gets closer and whispers, you should watch yourself. I'm warning you, don't cross the line. He continues. He decides to back off, admitting that if he messes with G, all the girls will get mad at him. Let's go, he says, turning and walking away with his crew like the coward he is. The bullied student just stares at the door they left through his humiliation hanging in the air. He kneels down by the piles of his own hair and pulls out his phone. He takes a grim selfie of the awful haircut. I need to capture evidence, he mutters. He then looks up and realizes GI is still there. The student walks over to him. Why weren't you laughing? To be honest, I don't care even if you laugh. The student looks at G with a new level of respect. As expected, you're different from the other guys. As he walks away, he adds, if it were me, I would have laughed my head off. Thank you, G. Later that day, as school ends, a sudden downpour starts. Students scramble for cover, complaining about the unexpected rain. Walking through the crowd is Ariam, holding an umbrella with her usual cold, distant expression. Not far away, G is walking by himself, getting completely soaked by the rain. Hey, Yi, someone calls out, but before she can reach him, two of Tu's goons grab G by the shoulders. Tu wants to see you. Follow us. They lead him to a secluded area where Tu, Yana, and the whole gang are waiting in the pouring rain. Tu looks up with a cruel grin. Well, look who it is. Our popular guy is here, still handsome, even when you're soaking wet. Yana looks frantic. You should stop this. Why did you bring G here? She demands, ignoring her. 2 grabs her phone. Are you getting angry? I'm just trying to check something. And then he throws the phone into a puddle at GI and LT, Unk and GT's feet. The screen lights up, showing the wallpaper a picture of G. 2 asks coldly, why is your face on Yena's home screen? Jan stays silent as 2's face twists with rage. I don't know if I'm being petty, but I just can't understand it. Yana desperately tries to de-escalate. I told you it means nothing. I'm just using it because the mood looks good. Mood. Texas sees. You're telling me that was all? You shoves GI, trying to get him to run. Jean, quick, leave. This has nothing to do with you. She looks at him pleadingly, her voice soft. Hurry and go. One of the lackeys scoffs. See, all the girls are siding with that punk. They're even flirting right in front of us. Yana spins around, finally snapping. Cut it out, you loser. Stops crossing the line, and in a flash of pure rage, 2 lunges forward and brutally punches Yana right in the face. Blood explodes from her mouth from the sheer force of the blow. As Yana crumples to the ground, a spray of her blood lands on G's face. His eyes snap wide open in shock. In that instance, something inside him breaks and a cold purple light glints in his eyes. 2 stands over the fallen Yana, absolutely furious. You witch, who are you siding with in front of your own boyfriend? He turns to G with a smug grin. So a girl likes you, huh? Did you already know? He glances back at Yana on the ground. How about you? Are you interested in her too? With a twisted grin, 2 makes a disgusting offer. If you tell me honestly, I'll give her to you. I'll let you date her, you punk. He demands an answer from his silent Jean. You were interested in her too, weren't you? Tell me. Yana finally speaks up from the ground. Boyfriend? Someone who throws drinking parties with other girls and brags about it online is my boyfriend. 2 furiously snaps back. I already apologized about that. The older guys set it up for me. How could I just skip it? With tears in her eyes, Yana tells him, it's over. You're not worthy of being my boyfriend. You're out. Shut up. Taksu screams, and without a second of hesitation, he slams his fist into the small of her back. G watches, his face now a mask of pure, unfiltered rage. Yana cries out in pain, but manages to get one last jab in. This is really the end for you. I was a crazy girl, forever dating you. Losing it completely, 2 grabs her by the shirt. Who gave you permission to end it? Do you think I'll let you go? You just dares him. That's right. Hit me. Hit me more. Let's settle this today. He roars, pulling his fist back for another punch. But just as he's about to connect, a hand shoots out and grabs his wrist, stopping the punch dead in its tracks. It's G. 2 is stunned. G, don't tell me you really were interested in her. I gave you my advice, didn't I? I told you not to cross the line. 2 yells, swinging a massive punch right at GI and LT, Unk and GT's face. G stumbles back, but he's completely unfazed. His eyes now glowing a dangerous red. You're not even a match for me, 2 says coldly. Seeing this transformation, Yana screams in terror. Come to your senses, Jan. His eyes narrow, and he plants his feet, digging into the wet ground. 2 can't believe it. He with 2'd that. I'm not holding back anymore. He unleashes another powerful glowing punch. But G doesn't even move an inch. He just takes the punch. His eyes glowing an intense, furious red. Taksu stares in disbelief at the unmoving boy. What is with this guy? Just go die, you bum. Ku screams, throwing one last desperate punch. This time, G effortlessly catches the fist in his hand. With a cold look in his glowing eyes, G unleashes a brutal counterpunch, sending 2 flying into a puddle. 2's crew can only watch in horror. What was that, 2? Yana is completely speechless. 2 tries to push himself up, spitting blood. Shoot, what is this? But before he can recover, G delivers a vicious kick straight to his head. That punk. He's asking for it. Seeing their leader down, the rest of the crew rushes in to attack John all at once. One of the thugs grabs a metal pipe and swings it, but John is way too fast. He kicks the guy in the chest, sending him flying before the pipe can even connect. The last guy standing watches his friend go down, completely frozen in pure terror. On the ground, 2 stares up in disbelief. Gee, what are you? Who are you? Jan doesn't answer. He just grabs 2 by the hair and viciously slams his face into the ground. He doesn't stop, repeatedly smashing 2's head into the wet pavement with relentless, terrifying fury. Yana finally rushes over and grabs G from behind, pleading with him, Stop. Stop it, G. Her voice seems to reach him. He stops, panting heavily as lightning flashes across the sky. As he catches his breath, Yana can only look on her face a mixture of fear and deep concern. Without another word, Jean straightens his clothes, shoulders his backpack, and walks away from the carnage. The one conscious thug can only stare after him, muttering, That lunatic. Yana is left kneeling on the wet ground, trying to process what just happened. As Ji-John disappears into the storm, it's clear there's a deep, heavy darkness hidden behind all that silence. The writer wants us to see another angle on that encounter to add to the mystery, I guess. From this vantage point, we see Airi when Two's minions call Ji and lead him to where Two is. She hears them talking about Two being furious with Ji. Just ask for mercy as soon as you see him, dude. It's the only way you'll live, one of them advises. Airi is curious and maybe a bit concerned. Her hand grips the umbrella handle tight, and in the next second, she's sprinting through the rain. She cautiously peeks around a corner, and what she sees makes her eyes go wide with pure shock. Ji is landing a brutal punch on Two, who's twice his size, sending blood flying, and his face sits chillingly calm as he winds up for another devastating blow. Our room can only watch in horror as Ji systematically dismantles the other bullies. When the carnage is over, Ji is the only one left standing, soaked to the bone in the rain. He emerges from the alley, breathing heavily, and begins walking, then gives her a glance. In the middle of the downpour, their eyes lock. His gaze is intense, his face bruised and bloody. Arum's hand is shaking, but she offers him her umbrella. Jan just stares for a second and walks away, totally ignoring her. Em just stares after him as he walks off into the night. So mysterious. The next day, the storm has passed, and the sun shines over the school. In the classroom, everyone notices Two and his crew are MIA, just assuming they're skipping. But Jan is missing Two, and people are starting to talk. Yana's friend asks her if she knows what happened. Yana, now sporting a bandage on her cheek, just stares off into the distance, clearly thinking about him. Meanwhile, in a grimy underpass, some tough L-looking dude is in total disbelief. He can't believe the news that Two is in the hospital. He says they were just out drinking a couple of days ago. He grabs one of Two's lackeys and demands to know how bad the damage is. The kid nervously explains that Two's face is fractured, and he's too embarrassed for visitors. The leader asks how many of them got wrecked. The kid stammers, 4 of them. The big boss, Kong Doyle, is floored that Two lost and demands to know who did it. The lackey explains it was all done by one person, a quiet, mysterious transfer student named Ji. Doyle just smirks, calling it pathetic that 4 guys got taken down by a single nobody. Suddenly, one of Doyle's massive goons grabs the kid by the throat, asking why he got away clean. He stammers that a 5-on-1 fight seemed cheap, so he stayed out of it. The big guy calls his bluff and smacks him hard across the face. Doyle, clearly annoyed by the interruption, asks what school transferred from. The kid insists nobody knows anything. He says John is completely mute. Frustrated with how useless he is, the big goon punches him hard in the gut. He then demands a physical description. Anything they can use to identify Ji. This is where it gets weird. The kid admits that John is super handsome, like a model with a strange charisma. Did you fall for him or something? The goon yells, punching him again for the weirdly flattering description. But Doyle seems genuinely intrigued by this silent, secretive pretty boy fighter. He says a fighter like that is a rare item and gets a crazed, hungry look in his eye. I want it, he screams. The next day at school, students walk in under a hilariously ironic banner calling for nonviolence. And there he is. Ji walks calmly through the locker area, but he's being watched. The bowl-cut kid from Two's crew is spying on him from around a corner. A quick flashback shows Doyle ordering him to dig up information on Shi's background. The kid was clearly terrified, but he had no choice but to accept the mission. Back in the present, he's stressing out, almost in tears. Why the heck does he have to do this? At that exact moment, Ji opens his locker. Inside, he finds a pair of slippers and a smartphone that suddenly starts vibrating. With a flicker of surprise on his face, he picks up the unknown phone. A text from a random number congratulates him on getting a free phone. The message tells him to use an app called X-Talk to share any of his worries. Totally not suspicious at all, right? Jiang just looks around to see who might have done this. His little spy completely freaks out, thinking he's been spotted. But Shi-Jan just turns and walks away, still examining the mysterious phone. Meanwhile, Arium is also nearby, holding up her phone. Jiang glances back down at the new phone, his expression totally unreadable. And a close-up on Aram reveals she's blushing hard at whatever is on her screen. As Jan checks out the weird phone, Two's lackey keeps spying, trying to figure out what's going on. As Ji walks off, he leaves the phone sitting on top of the lockers. Seeing his chance, the lackey lunges for the abandoned phone and snatches it up. He quickly inspects it. It's a super old model. And wait a minute, it isn't even locked. But before he can start snooping, Arium lands a brutal nudge to his back. He slams hard into the lockers with a loud crash, dropping the phone. Arium coolly strolls past, picking up the phone while the kid sputters on the ground in a daze. He yells after her, asking what her deal is, but she just runs away. Left alone and completely owned, the kid is seething with a mix of rage and pure humiliation. Elsewhere, Yena is walking with her friend Yuri, who's excitedly talking about her aunt's new poodle puppies. Yana, however, is a million miles away, completely lost in thought and not hearing a word. Her friend immediately calls her out for zoning out again, and Yana tries to play it off, but her friend sees right through her, teasing, "Liar. You were thinking about G again, weren't you?" As Yana denies it, her friend suddenly spots him down the hall and shouts, "Hey, it's John." Yana's head whips around, her own eyes widening in surprise as she sees him. Their gazes lock across the crowded hallway, and Yana is suddenly hit with a massive wave of emotion. Without any warning, tears begin to well up in her eyes. She doesn't even hesitate. She shoves her posters into her friend's arms and calls out his name. She takes off running after him, leaving her friend to sigh. "John's the only one you see, huh?" In a flash, she closes the distance between them. Catching up to him, Yena immediately throws her arms around him in a tight hug. The sudden bold move leaves all the other students in the hallway completely stunned. With tears streaming down her face, she tells him how worried she was and asks if he's okay. She looks up at him and says, "You saved me, Gi. I won't ever forget it." Gi is expressionless as usual, as Yana says a heartfelt, "Thanks." And of course, watching the whole scene unfold from the sidelines, Two's lackey grumbles with jealousy. He quickly pulls out his phone and starts tapping out his daily report for Doyle. His notes are simple: late to school, popular with the girls, and still not talking. He wonders if this intel is even enough. Later that day, after school lets out, G walks alone through the city streets. As he walks, a tough-looking guy on a yellow dirt bike spots him from across the street. He smirks, recognizing G instantly. He sure stands out, he mutters to himself. He pulls out his phone and sends a quick message, alerting another delinquent on a scooter nearby. The trap is sprung. The two of them move in at once, screeching to a halt to block G's path completely. The man with the glasses sizes him up. "G, you're G Gene, right?" G remains completely silent, staring back with that same intense, stoic expression. The man just smirks. "I guess I'm right. Get on. We came to pick you up." These biker thugs roll up and don't even waste time. They ask G if he's heard of the legend from Day High, a guy named Kong Do-il. The lead biker starts running his mouth, calling G Gene School a total dump for losers. Talk about picking a fight. Then he drops the real reason they're here. The big boss, Kong Doyle, wants a meeting. He tells G to get on the bike now. He tries to play it cool, saying it's just an invitation and that G won't get hurt for now. Sounds super reassuring, but G isn't having any of it. He completely blanks them and just walks away. The thugs are furious, screaming at him to get on the bike. Not taking the hint, one of them lunges forward and snags G by his backpack, trying to force him to stop. They call him a stubborn punk and threaten to break his legs if he keeps walking. These guys really don't know who they're messing with. And G Gene's reaction, he just gives him cold side eye. Bro is completely unimpressed by their empty threats. With a single smooth shrug, he just slips his backpack off and keeps walking. The thugs can't believe the audacity. Okay, playtime's over. The bikers rev their engines, screaming that he's a dead man. He ducks into a tight alleyway, walking calmly. The bikers aren't giving up, screeching right in after him. But the narrow space is a huge problem for them. The scooter scrapes the wall as his buddy on the dirt bike yells at him to get out of the way. John hits a massive flight of stairs. The dirt bike rider just pops a wheelie and rides right up the steps after him. What a madman. The biker barrels down another set of stairs, still shouting. But check this out. G Gene isn't running anymore. He's just waiting calmly at the top. And with God-tier timing, he punts a full garbage bag right into the biker's path. This is going to be good. It's a direct hit. The bag smacks the rider clean in the face, sending him and his bike flying through the air in a beautiful trashy arc. He then crashes directly into his buddy, who is running up on foot. It's a perfect strike, sending them both tumbling down the stairs like bowling pins. And to add insult to injury, the bike itself comes crashing down right on top of the first guy. Ouch, that's got to hurt. Dazed and definitely bruised, the scooter dude helps his partner up, still screaming for him to get G. Dude read the room. They scramble up the stairs, but John is already gone. Just kidding. They spot him in another alley, a classic bait and switch. Furious, they start the chase all over again, but Jiang leads them through a confusing maze of alleys until they completely lose him. Suddenly, they spot him again. One of the thugs goes for a flying tackle from behind, screaming that he's finally got him. He spins his target around, ready to finish it, only to find some random terrified student. It's not Gene at all. His partner runs up, totally confused. The first guy is so enraged by the mix-up that he just decks the poor innocent kid. What a jerk. And as they stand there completely defeated, the real Jiang watches the whole dumpster fire from a rooftop high above. He doesn't say a word. He just turns and walks away. Mission accomplished. Total chaos created. Later, back at the thugs' hideout, one of them is reporting their massive failure. Apparently, G politely declined their invitation. Our two failed chasers are getting punished, forced to do push-ups. They whine about how close they were, but their boss isn't hearing it and just kicks one in the face. He screams that he doesn't want excuses. Meanwhile, the big boss himself, Kong Doyle, just smirks from the sidelines, finding this all very entertaining. He turns his attention to 2 and LT, Unk and GT, this old lackey. Oh, Sun Min. He asks if Sun managed to dig up any dirt on Jan. Sun Min nervously gives his report, which is basically nothing. Jan is late, popular with girls, and still a man of few words. Great intel, buddy. Kong Doyle is not impressed. He asks if that's seriously all he's got, and his heavy immediately grabs Sun Min by the hair. And just like that, Sun Min is forced to join the other failures on the floor, wondering how he got dragged into this mess, too. Kong Doyle smiles and tells him to stop. He gives Sun Min a new mission, though. Lure G to the back gate after school. Simple, right? He asks if Sun Min can at least handle that, and the look on Sun Min's face says it all. The poor guy is absolutely terrified. Kong Doyle then turns to another thug, D-Sick, and puts him in charge of the operation. He wants G brought to him tomorrow. No excuses. Dake confidently accepts, but meanwhile, Sun Min is having a full-blown panic attack, wondering how in the world he's going to lure a beast like G anywhere. The next day, Sun Min tries to play it casual. He's holding 2 grape sodas nervously. His friend tries to grab one for himself. Sun just gets angry and calls him a cheapskate to deflect because his real target is walking just a few feet ahead. You guessed it, it's G. Sun Min runs up with the fakest smile you've ever seen, wishing G a good morning and offering him the soda. Jiang just stares back, completely expressionless. Sun Min starts backpedaling fast, swearing he was never really one of 2's guys. He even tries to suck up, saying how awesome it was to see 2 get wrecked. He offers the drink again, desperate to build some camaraderie. And G's response, he just turns and walks away without saying a single word. Denied, Sun Min is left standing there like an idiot. Sun Min is fuming. This is way harder than he thought. He's terrified of what Kong Doyle will do to him if he fails this simple mission. The bell rings for lunch, and everybody heads out. While everyone else is hyped to leave, G is just chilling with his head on his desk. With the classroom finally empty, G lifts his head. Sun Min's watching from the doorway. He'd been searching for G at the cafeteria. Did he bring his own lunch? G heads out to his favorite spot on the rooftop, and on a bench, there's a phone just sitting there. And right on cue, the phone buzzes to life. Its screen lights up with a mysterious notification. The message is simple. It just reads, "Eating bread today, too." Meanwhile, Aram is staring at her phone completely flustered and blushing like crazy. Jan picks up the phone curiously. This person says they've seen him eating alone on the rooftop, just like they do. The mysterious texter says they wanted to talk, which immediately puts John on high alert, scanning the area for his secret admirer. Another message pops up saying they're on the opposite side. What a strange way to introduce yourself. And just like that, an arm starts waving like crazy from across the fence trying to get his attention. G takes a seat as the texts keep rolling in. The person admits they're awkward and heard he doesn't talk much either. Why aren't you talking? Comes the next text. G just stares back, his thumb hovering over the keyboard. Suddenly, a loud voice shouts his name, completely startling him out of his thoughts. It's Sun Min, who runs up with a ridiculously fake grin plastered on his face. Woo, fancy meeting you here. Sumin holds up a bag of bread, claiming he was just coming up to eat. He then asks if Ji-Jan was eating all by himself. He's super eager to eat together, and Ji-Jan just kind of accepts it with his usual stoic silence. So, the 2 of them sit on the bench. Sun is going to town on his bread, while G just sips his drink. But they're not alone. Ariam is peeking over from the next rooftop, spying on them while having her own snack. All of a sudden, Sun Min bends over and starts crying. Bro is putting on a real show. With tears streaming down his face, he blurts out, "Jian, actually I have no friends." He tries to explain that he only hung out with Toxis Gang because he was afraid of being a total loner. Looking at G with puppy dog eyes, he suggests they team up as fellow outsiders and become friends. But get this, it is all an act. Inside, Summon is raging, thinking, shoot, is this not working? I even squeezed out some tears. John is completely unfazed. He just stands up to leave, leaving Sun Min in total disbelief. As Ji-Jin walks away, Sun Min just loses it, screaming, "No, all my effort." In a desperate move, he lunges forward and grabs G and LT, Unk and GT's arm, pleading, "We can be friends, right?" He even tries clinging to G and LT, Unk and GT's leg, but G easily yanks his arm away, sending the pathetic Sun tumbling to his knees. Sun checks his phone, and it's bad news. He's got angry texts from D-Sick demanding to know why he hasn't brought G yet. Later in class, D-Sick texts again, telling him to get judged to the back gate. Sun Min is panicking as the teacher dismisses everyone, but he's not giving up. He clenches his fist, determined to somehow get a hold of G. He rushes through the crowded hallway, terrified that his target has already gone home for the day. Peeking into their now empty classroom, he starts to panic. Oh no, there's no one inside. But then he sees him. G is just sitting there on a desk by the window, looking like a main character. As the curtains blow around him, Sunmin just stares completely confused. What is this? Is he shooting a commercial by himself? Or something? His phone buzzes again. It's D-Sick, and he is absolutely furious, screaming through the text. Taking a deep breath, Sun Min enters the classroom. Giant, you still have it left. He immediately launches into another fake sob story, claiming he called his mom and told her he finally made a friend. He says his mom, who works nearby, desperately wants to meet G and asked him to bring him over. The lies are getting deep now. He begs G, can't you just show your face in front of her for a moment, please? Sunmin's face twists with intensity as he tries to guilt-trip him when my mom is insisting, you can't just refuse. But G's silence is making him desperate. He thinks to himself, wow, are you really even thinking about it? This cold punk. Losing all his composure, he grabs G by the shoulders and shakes him, yelling, hey, just a moment is fine. Aren't we friends? He literally drags G out of the classroom this way. And as they leave, Arium watches them go. As they walk, Sumin cheerfully explains that the back gate is a shortcut to the market, but his expression darkens as he thinks, I'm sorry, G. If you're naive in this neighborhood, you can't survive. He pulls out his phone. He quickly fires off a text to D-Sick, letting him know they're passing by the back gate right now. The trap is set. Just as they round the corner, a massive figure in a green tracksuit steps out, blocking their path completely. Without a word, D-Sick gives G an aggressive nudge with his shoulder. The force of the nudge got XGI falling on his back as Desi grabs the strap of his backpack to pull him closer. My, you should be more careful. Des sneers, clearly enjoying this. He grins like a villain. There is no point in me even waiting for you. He follows up with a brutal backhand that sends G stumbling backward. This guy means business. Nice to meet you, you little punk. Des growls, grabbing G by the throat. He mocks him. Your face is fine, but it looks like your skills were all talk. But then G stomps his foot hard on top of Dick's. Using that as a pivot, G kicks off D6's chest and does a full backflip, sending the giant bully crashing to the ground. G lands perfectly on the ground, but in the chaos, his phone slips right out of his pocket. The phone clatters onto a metal sewer grate, coming to a stop just inches from falling into the drain. That's not good. G's eyes widen as he sees his phone's dangerous position. At the same time, D-Sick is already getting back up. Desk scrambles to his feet and catches G off guard with a massive right hook that sends him flying across the ground. Jin's foot conveniently kicks the phone out of the way. Problem solved. Cracking his knuckles, D-Sick grins with pure malice. I'll get you on the next turn. But as John slowly gets up, a dark, menacing aura starts to radiate from him. It's showtime, people. The hulking goon Desk. He sneers. You think you can handle this weight difference with that scrawny body? But G isn't fazed one bit. His eyes are like ice cold and locked on his target. Watching from a corner, Oh-Sung Min is already apologizing in his head. He thinks, sorry G. With a furious roar, D-Sick charges forward like a freight train, ready to completely flatten G. But wait, at the very last second, he grabs his backpack. What's the plan here? He uses it to block the full force of D-Sick's punch. That's some insane split-second thinking right there. The impact still sends him soaring, and he violently slams against the wall. Desk is stunned. He lets out a creepy laugh, using your backpack to cushion the blow. He grins like a maniac. Aren't you a lot smarter than you look? Unfazed, John calmly dumps the rest of his school supplies out of his ruined backpack. Desk isn't waiting around. He charges again, screaming. A trick like that won't work anymore. But G is way too quick for him, easily ducking under the wild telegraph swing. His eyes are laser-focused, already setting up the counterattack. And there it is. He whips the empty backpack strap right around D6's ankle. With one powerful tug, he yanks the big man's legs straight out from under him. D6's face twists in pure shock as he starts to lose his balance. He never saw this coming. The huge goon comes crashing down hard onto the pavement. David versus Goliath, folks. Absolutely enraged. Desk pushes himself up, screaming, you little punk. But Jan isn't giving him a second to breathe. He's already leaping into the air. But suddenly, he stops barely an inch from the thug's head. Dessa can barely believe what's happening. The audacity of this guy. He's absolutely seething, yelling, "Who are you trying to show off for?" G doesn't need to say a word. He unleashes a devastating axe kick straight down on a D6 head. The power is insane. The force of the blow sends D6 reeling. Oh, Sunung is completely speechless. What just happened? Zbeat hang de si. Dick is completely out cold, collapsing to the ground. And just like that, the fight is over. Ji-jin calmly turns away like it was nothing. His eyes land on his phone, which is lying dangerously close to a sewer grate. But suddenly a voice screams from behind him. It's not over yet. Yi-yoon. Oh no. D-sick, bloody but not broken, lunges up from the ground. This guy is tough. John reacts instantly, spinning with a kick that knocks D-sick back down again. But in the chaos, his phone gets knocked loose and is sent flying through the air. John makes a desperate dive for it, but he's just a second too slow. D6 snatches it right off the ground. He grins maliciously. Is this what's so important to you? Wiping blood from his nose, he says, "My only job is to take you to Doyle. Pity I can't drag your half-dead body to him." He snaps his fingers. Suddenly, a scooter comes speeding down the alley, seemingly out of nowhere. D6 hops on the back and issues a challenge. "Come to Sakil Park if you want this back." He gives a menacing look over his shoulder. Your welcome party is already prepared. And with that, they speed off, leaving Ji and a totally stunned Oh-sung Min in the alley. Sunung Min rushes over to Jan, completely frantic. "Ji, are you all right? Are you hurt anywhere?" He grabs Jian's face, anxiously checking him for any injuries. He's relieved he's okay, but then the panic sets in. That was so close. But what are you going to do now? They took your phone. He's shouting. They'll get all your private information. This could get really bad. You can meet my mom next time. For now, you should hurry and go to Sakilo Park. He tells Jan, "Okay, I've done my part. Doesn't matter if he goes or not." He thinks to himself, but as he turns to make his escape, he sees that G is already walking away. Sun M is stunned. "Where are you going? Are you really going after them just for a phone?" G doesn't even look back. He just walks forward with total purpose, heading straight into the lion's den. He arrives at Sile Park and begins to climb a long flight of wooden stairs. At the top, a few delinquents are already waiting for him, just lounging around and smoking. The welcoming party, I guess. His expression is grim. He knows this isn't going to be easy. And he was right. It's not just a few guys. It's a whole crew. But Jun Jan stands his ground, fists clenched at his sides, ready for whatever comes next. And there, sitting in a gazebo in the middle of them all, is the man himself, Kong Doyle. Doyle's eyes narrow, and then a cruel smirk spreads across his face. Well, now this is nice. He holds up the cracked smartphone. You came all this way for this, right? John walks straight towards him, passing right through the crowd of thugs without a hint of fear. Doyle casually inspects the phone. Doesn't seem like there's anything important on here. No number saved. No call records either. He continues, the only thing it has is a couple of texts from a girl who's been watching you. Oh, this just got interesting. Doyle looks up at GI, clearly amused. But seeing how you actually came all the way here just to get this phone back, G stops right in front of him and holds out his hand, demanding it back. Doyle just grins, taunting him. Is she your girlfriend, or just a little fling? Jean's expression darkens as Doyle shouts, "Man, now I'm all curious." "So I sent her a text," Doyle says, his eyes gleaming with mischief. "It was just so frustrating to watch." He adds with a wicked grin, "I texted her something to get things moving along." Meanwhile, Ariane feels her own phone buzz in her pocket. She pulls it out and looks at the screen, a completely confused expression on her face. It's a message from G's number, starting with a simple, "Hey." But the next message is shockingly direct. "I'm feeling lonely right now. Want to meet up?" Then it drops an absolute bombshell. "If you come to Sigil Park, you'll be my girlfriend starting today." And look who sent it. This punk Doyle, smirking while holding GI's phone. He figures if the girl actually shows up, it's proof she likes him. But Jean just stares him down, giving absolutely nothing away. His face is like a stone wall. Doyle jokes that John will owe him big time once he lands a girl. What a friend, right? John doesn't say a word. He just holds out his hands silently, demanding his phone back. But Doyle just pulls it away, totally unimpressed. "You want this?" he asks like it's some kind of game. One of his goons, D-Sick, chimes in, bragging that his crew worked hard to drag X here. Doyle goes on that too, probably deserved it. But you see, there are rules around here. John beat up one of his men, and for that, there's a price. Doyle looks him up and down with a smirk. "You came here prepared to pay it, right?" John remains completely silent, which just makes Doyle chuckle. He clearly finds this amusing. Doyle then holds up Jian's phone. The deal is simple. If Ji can hold on to this while fighting his entire crew, he gets it back. Since you're a transfer, you don't know how things work around here. He explains that in this neighborhood, the ranking fights are everything. It's a brutal system. The moment you mess with Taksu, he declares, you officially joined a ranking fight. With a wild grin, Doyle shouts, so, let's see how skilled you really are. Desk gets right up in Jan's face, cackling, this is the place of revenge, January. And with no warning, he throws a massive punch right at June's head. But check this out. G takes the hit and doesn't even flinch. His expression is completely unchanged. Desk is absolutely stunned, his shock quickly turning to rage. You punk. He screams at the rest of the crew. What are you all doing? Get this guy. A thug in a red hat throws the first punch, but John effortlessly puts up a block. You can see his hand clenching into a tight fist. He's ready. He even catches another thug's fist midair, stopping the attack cold, but it's a numbers game. He's quickly overwhelmed as the others swarm in, landing punches from all sides. Even as the beating continues, there's a sharp glint of light reflecting in his eye. He takes a brutal shot right to the face that would knock anyone else out, then another one to the gut that doubles him over. This is getting rough. A thug grabs him by the hair, holding him in place for the next attack. He takes another devastating punch to the side of the head with a sickening impact. And once he's on the ground, a foot comes down hard, stomping on him. The gang is relentless, kicking and punching him from every single angle. Doyle watches the whole thing, looking confused. Why is he only defending? He wonders. He starts to think that maybe G just isn't interested in their little ranking fight at all. One of the thugs points out that G hasn't even screamed. Is he really risking his life just to stay quiet? This gives Doyle a twisted idea. A depraved look crosses his face. I wonder what kind of voice will come out of someone like him. So he raises the stakes, shouting to his crew, anyone who makes that guy scream, I'll give you the limited edition Jordan Nick. The thug's eyes immediately light up with greed. Really? Awesome. The promise of rare sneakers sends them into a total frenzy, and they descend on Shi-Jin all over again. Doyle screams at him. G, show your skills. Prove to me that you're a rare item. Desk shoves his way through the crowd, yelling for everyone to move out of his way. He taunts the beaten G, asking where his fighting spirit went and if he's scared now. Desk connects with a brutal uppercut, sending spit and blood flying through the air. The blow knocks G flat on his back. He looks utterly defeated. He's struggling to breathe, his face a mess of bruises and blood, but incredibly his eyes are still open. This isn't enough for one of the goons who decides to take things to a whole new level by picking up a huge rock. He grins like a maniac, raising the rock high above his head. I'll make this guy scream. He gloats that he never liked G.I.'s face anyway, and this will solve everything. But before he can bring it down, a foot slams into his head with incredible force. It's Doyle. He stands over the downed thug and coldly asks, do you want to die? He then turns back to Shi-Jin, grabbing him by the collar and pulling him up. He gets right in his face. Do you enjoy this? You're trying to hide something, aren't you? He tells G that this will never end. Not until he proves his worth. Meanwhile, hiding behind a tree, Sun Min is watching the whole thing unfold, feeling absolutely terrible for G. He knows Doi's gang is on a completely different level than Two's crew. This is serious. Suddenly, his eyes widen as he notices someone else approaching the park. At that exact moment, G's phone, still in Doyle's hand, lights up with a brand new message. The message is simple and direct. Please let him go. Doyle looks up from the screen, his eyes wide with genuine surprise. And there she is. It's the girl, A.M. She's standing at the edge of the clearing, her face hidden in the shadows. Doyle's shock melts into a wicked grin as he looks at G.I. Perhaps you'll find your will to fight now. Your little fling has arrived. He gives a subtle nod to one of his thugs, who smirks and says, okay. The thug starts walking towards Ariam, waving his hand. Hey, come a little closer. M doesn't move. Instead, she starts typing a reply on her phone. But before she can send it, the thug rushes up behind her. He violently grabs her by the arms, stopping her cold. Wow. He leers, pulling her close. You're actually pretty. She tries to pull away, but he yanks her back. Where do you think you're going? You came here by yourself, didn't you? Watching from the trees, Sun's face twists in horror. What? That's Aram. He's completely panicked. He has no idea what he's supposed to do now. He instinctively takes a step forward to help, snapping a twig under his foot. The thug just grins at Ari. You should go see your boyfriend's face. Let's go. But Sun Min freezes up. He's too terrified to intervene and can only watch them go. The thug announces his success, confirming he's dragged Aram into the park just like he was ordered. Up until now, G has taken the entire beating without making a sound. But seeing her here, something finally snaps. Ahim's terrified face triggers a flashback for G. A memory of her showing him a simple moment of kindness on a rainy day and how she tried to connect with him despite his lack of reaction. Back in the present, Ariam flinches in fear, the thug's grip leaving angry red marks on her arm. And that is it. That is the absolute last straw. The empty look in Giant's eyes is instantly replaced by pure, unadulterated rage. The thugs are in total shock. They can't believe their eyes. She actually came. One of the goons grinds his foot on Jian's head and sneers at her. He says Ji is busy getting a little educations right now. Ariam's hands are trembling, but she immediately tries to de-escalate by typing a frantic message on her phone, but instead of speaking, she just stands there in complete silence. The thugs are totally baffled. Why isn't she talking? And GT. The leader, Doyle, absolutely loses it and starts laughing. He just realized she's silent just like GI. The whole crew starts mocking them, calling them a weirdo chat couple. Doyle, being the menace he is, turns this into a sick game. He smirks and says he'll reward whoever can make one of them talk. The big goon's eyes light up with a creepy glint. He asks if the girl is fair game, and Doyle just gives him the green light. And just like that, a couple of creeps start closing in on Ari. One of them says if she can't talk, she can't say no. Seriously messed up. One grabs her wrist, demanding she speak, while another gets way too close and starts messing with her hair. All the while, G is watching from the ground, and the look in his eyes is pure, unfiltered rage as the creep asks about her shampoo. Doyle just keeps poking the bear, taunting G. He asks if he's just going to sit there and let this happen. Another thug escalates things, grabbing Yuri and LT, Unk and GT, S-face to force her to talk. From behind a tree, a terrified Sunung Min can only watch in horror. The thug tightens his grip, screaming right in her face to say something. This is their biggest mistake. But before he can finish his sentence, a fist comes flying out of nowhere and absolutely decks him. It's John. He's on his feet, and he's already laid out one of the thugs who touched Ari. The switch has been flipped. Without even a second's pause, he unloads another brutal punch right into the face of the guy who grabbed her. Some dude with pink hair thinks he can take him on. Nope. He gets sent flying backwards from a single powerful hit. And look at Doyle. He is absolutely loving this. He's ecstatic that John is finally showing his true colors. In a flash, John moves to stand directly in front of Ari, becoming her human shield. Protector mode is activated. The rest of the gang, completely furious now, all scream and charge at him at the same time. But it's no use. G is like a whirlwind, effortlessly dodging and weaving through every single attack they throw at him. He grabs one by the face and slams a vicious knee right in his gut. He follows it up with a nasty elbow strike to the back of the head. That guy's definitely out for the count. Another one comes in with a kick, but John just casually tripped him up, sending him face planting into the dirt. Seeing his boys get absolutely dismantled, the big thug D-Sick roars that he's going to end this himself and charges in. Dick throws a kick, but G catches it. He twists him off balance and delivers a bone-crushing stomp right to his face. D6 stumbles back in shock and throws a massive haymaker, but G just ducks under it like it's nothing. G then spins and unleashes an insane high kick that connects perfectly with D6's jaw. What a clean hit. Doyle is watching, completely captivated by the show. He mutters with a sick smile that G is a rare item. G closes the gap and drives a powerful knee straight into D6's gut, making the huge guy scream in pure agony. With D6 doubled over in pain, G raises his clasped hands high over his head, prepping a finishing blow, and he brings them down in a devastating hammer fist, smashing D6's face straight into the pavement with sickening force. Desk, the walking tank, is out cold. The others stare in horror for a second before screaming and charging in again. Jan just becomes a blur of destruction. He launches himself into the air and takes out multiple guys at once with a flurry of kicks. Doyle is watching this beautiful carnage with a chilling grin. He's thinking, who is this guy? He's way beyond his wildest expectations. But then one of the last thugs makes a cowardly move. He grabs Aram from behind and puts her in a chokehold, screaming at John to kneel. This sight immediately triggers a dark memory for G. He sees another girl, a blonde one, held in the exact same way, screaming his name. And just like that, something inside him snaps. A strange purple energy flickers in his eye as he takes a single deliberate step forward. The thug starts to panic, screaming at him not to come any closer, but GI is not listening. While the coward is distracted, another guy tries to sucker punch G. Big mistake. He gets a bone-shattering fist to the face without G even looking. With that out of the way, Jan turns his full, unrestrained fury on the guy who's holding Ariam. The thug is screaming in pure terror now, begging for his life. As Jan approaches, but it is way too late for apologies. Jian's fist connects, and the impact is absolutely devastating. And he is not done. G raises his foot, ready to bring it down with brutal finality. The guy can only whimper that he was wrong, but one look at Giant's cold, Empty glare tells you there is zero mercy left. He just keeps punching, and that strange purple energy starts glowing in his eye again. Suddenly, Doyle steps in and grabs Jin's arm mid-swing. He yells at him to stop, saying it is enough. He then holds out G's phone, telling him to take it. Looking down at the battered but victorious G, Doyle declares that he's earned it back. He passed the test. He even offers G a spot in his crew, admitting he's way too valuable a fighter to pass up. But G completely ignores the offer. He slowly gets to his feet, clenching his bloodied fist, and walks towards Doyle. Doyle is completely confused, yelling after him that it is all over. Doyle's friendly facade instantly vanishes, replaced by something else. What is with the attitude? I told you that's enough. G attacks. A manic, unhinged grin spreads across Doyle's face. He gets in a position and he's lightning fast. He completely dodges G's blow and counters almost immediately. It connects with a massive impact, and a flash of that same purple energy explodes from the blow. The sheer force of the punch sends Jin flying backward through the air like a rag doll. He crashes to the ground, seemingly out cold. Doyle stands over him with a smug, twisted grin. He smugly says, "I told you to stop, didn't I?" Giant is on the ground, completely gassed and beaten to a pulp, just trying to catch his breath. Kong Doyle looms over him with a smug grin, telling him he'll be back for that answer soon enough. He gives the order, and his equally wrecked crew starts to pull back. The beatdown is over for now. As they limp away, one of his guys can't help but wonder who in the world was that monster they just fought. Even D-Sick, his face a total wreck, is confused. He asks Doyle why he'd still want to recruit a guy who just handed them their butts. Doyle just touches his busted lip and admits that even he got chills when GI went berserk. He flashes back to that insane counter. He was sure he dodged it, but GI's speed was on another level. The guy has a genius-level talent for hitting weak points. Doyle isn't just mad, he's seriously impressed. And he gets this totally unhinged look in his eyes. This dude is obsessed, declaring he's going to make G his one way or another. Later, we find G slumped on a park bench. RM shows up, and you can see the pure worry in her eyes. But G just stares at the ground, his face a mess of cuts and bruises, completely shutting her out. You can see her heart breaking right there. A single tear falls, and she just bolts. Then his phone starts buzzing. He checks it, and it's a text from Aram. She's running to get medicine for him, and asked him to wait. But seeing her message triggers something. A dark memory starts to surface. He's thrown back to that horrifying moment when one of the goons was holding her hostage, screaming at GI to get on his knees, or she gets hurt. He snaps back to reality, but his face is stone cold. That memory changed everything. He picks up the phone, gives it one last look, and leaves it behind. He just walks away, abandoning it completely. But hold on, he wasn't alone. Oh Sung-min was hiding behind a tree, and he saw everything. He's totally speechless, calling John unreal. Sun Eung-min realizes that the new transfer student isn't just some guy. He's a certified monster. Then he spots the phone on the bench. He recognizes it instantly. It's the same one he saw at the school shoe racks. And all the pieces click into place. He realizes Al must be the one who gave G that phone. Just then, he hears footsteps. Oh no, it's Al. And she's running right back to the bench. Sun Eung-min totally panics. He looks at the phone in his hand and just makes a break for it. Arun gets back with a bag full of medicine, only to find the bench empty. Meanwhile, as Sun is booking it, the phone lights up again. It's another text from Ariam, asking if G is okay. Reading this makes Sun Eung-min furious. How could G just abandon his phone when Ariam is so worried about him? He's totally conflicted. Should he reply and put her mind at ease, or just ignore it? He scrolls up and sees her first text introducing herself and saying she wants to get to know him. His heart just sinks. He's completely overwhelmed. Does he ignore her, or does he pretend to be Jan? Back at the bench, Aram's phone buzzes. She looks down and sees a reply. Just one word. Okay, but that one word is enough. The next day at school, things are about to get crazy. Sumin's friend is glued to his phone, his jaw on the floor. And what's he watching? It's a video of Ji-John single-handedly dismantling Doyle's entire crew. His friend can't believe it's the same transfer student. Sun Eung-min admits he was so shocked he barely managed to hit record. The friend is convinced Seong is going to be super popular, but Sun Eung-min just mutters that he already is. The salt is real, folks. He's just fuming because he's 100% sure his crush has a thing for G. Bro is having a complete meltdown. He's mad. G is ghosting her, but also kind of relieved. He's a mess. His friend sees a golden opportunity. He says the video would go viral and snatches the phone ready to upload it. Sumin chases after him, but ends up crashing right into another student, knocking the guy's tie clip to the floor. He looks up and freezes. It's Kim Jin-woo, the number 2 ranked fighter of the sophomores, and he does not look happy. Sunung is completely paralyzed with fear, barely able to stammer out the infamous fighter's name. He scrambles to pick up the tie clip, nervously offering to put back on for him. But Jin-woo's not having it. He just smacks Sun Min hard across the face and tells him to go get his crew. His friend runs over to help, but Sun Man just screams at him, blaming him for the whole mess. His friend tells him to calm down, saying he's lucky it was just one slap. Apparently, Jin-woo is known for having a seriously bad temper, but Sun Min's not listening. His eyes are locked on Yena, who's walking with Ji and pointing at the cuts on his face. Watching them walk off together sends Sun Min into a jealous rage. He just can't stand how popular Ji is. He is absolutely fuming. First it was Arium, and now Yana too. Why does this guy get all the attention and speak of the devil? He turns around and there she is. Aram is walking right down the street. He quickly tries to play it cool, stammering out a greeting as she gets closer, and she walks right past him without a single glance. Ouch. That's a critical hit to the ego. That's when he gets an idea. If he can't get Ari's attention directly, maybe he needs to get close to John first. Suddenly, his friend pops up out of nowhere with a wicked grin on his face, holding out the phone. On the screen is the fight video queued up and ready to post with the title, Holy Cow, Transfer Student. And before Sun Min can do a single thing to stop him, his friend hits the upload button. It's done. We change scenes to the classroom. A pack of bullies has cornered their favorite punching bag, and they're getting artsy with it. And with a final smack, the masterpiece is complete. They've drawn a smiley face on the back of his head, calling it an improvement. Seriously, the poor victim Gumman looks completely broken as his tormentors howl with laughter. But the humiliation isn't over. Their next brilliant idea is to make him walk backwards for the rest of the day. Terrified and confused, Gumman actually starts to shuffle backwards right as they guide him towards the stairs. You know what's coming next. Gumman loses his footing completely and takes a nasty tumblehead first down the entire flight of stairs. And the bullies, they just stand at the top laughing their heads off and calling him an idiot. Just pure evil. But just before Gumman smashes into the landing, a blur of motion appears out of nowhere and catches him. It's G. He just saved Gam from a trip to the hospital. And Gumman stares back in total shock. Yena rushes over to check if Gam is alright. He's shaken, but says he's fine. That's when Yena finally sees it. She spots the ridiculous drawing on his head and completely loses it. Gumman just apologizes pathetically while Jan watches the whole scene with a cold, unreadable face. Seeing G's stone-cold expression, Gumman can't help but think to himself, he's the only one not laughing at me. As his silent savior walks away, Jimin musts up the courage to shout, "Thank you, January." Meanwhile, in another part of the school, something big is about to go down in the gymnasium. Inside, it's an all-out brawl. Students are trading heavy blows in an unofficial fight club. A huge crowd has gathered around them, cheering, jeering, and probably betting their lunch money on the outcome. But one person is not impressed. Kim Jin-woo sits on the bleachers looking totally bored by the amateur display. Suddenly, his lackey runs up and shoves a phone in his face. It's a crazy fight video of some new transfer student, and this video is absolutely blowing up online. The views are climbing, and the comments are going wild. Jin-woo's interest is finally piqued. He asks if the guy is from their school, and his buddy confirms the uniform matches. A menacing grin spreads across Jin-woo's face. If this monster is really at their school, things are about to get very interesting. He stands up, silencing the crowd. He needs to know everything about this transfer student, and he needs to know now. One of the fighters points out there's a quiet new kid over in Class 5. And then he drops the bomb. The word on the street is that this new guy is the one who hospitalized too. Jin-woo's grin widens. So he's the one who took out two. He orders his men to dig up everything they can on him. Later during lunch, Gman actually turns down his friends, saying he has other plans. He works up the nerve to approach G, offering to share the bread he bought as a thank you. Hey, maybe we can eat lunch together once in a while, Gumman says. But G just stays silent. But their unlikely lunch date is immediately crashed by Sun Min, who declares he was waiting for G the whole time. Sun Min gets right in Gumman's face, demanding to know why they're together. He insists he's the one who should be eating with G. Then Sun Min notices the drawing on Gumman's head and starts laughing his head off. Man, this kid has no filter. Gumman tries to defend himself, but Sun Min just keeps roasting his ridiculous new haircut. Gumman dramatically declares that his head is living proof of bullying and the truth must be seen. Can you take my picture? Gumman asks. Cut the BS, Sun Min shoots back. A few minutes later, a confused Sunmin is snapping photos, having absolutely no idea what's even happening anymore. Just then his phone buzzes. It's a message from Ari, and his face instantly turns bright red. He makes up a lame excuse and sprints away, leaving Gummin and Shi Jin behind. The text from Aram just says, "Have a nice lunch." Sunmin is on cloud 9, clutching his phone like a treasure. Meanwhile, Aram gets a reply that says, "You too." A small happy blush appears on her face as well. But back with Sunmin, his happiness turns to sheer horror as the rooftop door opens. A shadow falls over him. A tough L-looking student named Nojamon strides in. Ja has tracked them all the way to the rooftop. He smirks, saying, "The rumors are true about the transfer student's lunch spot." He confidently walks towards Ji-Jan, holding up a phone playing that viral fight video. "This is you, isn't it?" Ji-Jin just stares at the phone, while Sun Eung-min looks like he's about to have a heart attack. That idiot friend of his uploaded the video. Poor Gum is completely lost, sweating buckets, and wondering what in the world is going on. But Jamon knows exactly why he's here. He challenges John directly, telling him to get up and show him what he's got. John doesn't even move. He just stares ahead blankly. Jamon gets angry and shouts, "Hey, I said get up." Losing his patience, Jan snaps and throws a punch that stops just a single inch from G.I.'s face. And G's reaction, nothing. He doesn't even blink. He just looks bored, which is the ultimate sign of disrespect. Ja is practically shaking with rage at being ignored so completely. He taunts him, trying to get any kind of reaction. Finally snapping, he screams that if G won't get motivated, he'll just beat him into it. He winds up for a full power punch. "If you're not going to say anything, then I'll just beat you up," Jamon screams. But Zhang's reflexes are on another level. He ducks under the sloppy punch with zero effort. And without even a moment's hesitation, he counters with a brutal kick right to Jamon's shin. The impact sends Jamon stumbling forward, completely losing his balance. His face meets the wooden bench with a sickening crack. Ouch, that had to hurt. Jamie hits the deck, screaming in agony, while everyone just stands there totally stunned. He pulls his hand away, revealing a face full of blood. Yep, that nose is definitely broken. Ji-Jin just stares him down with this dark, terrifying silence. Jim is absolutely petrified and scrambles to his feet. Screaming his head off, he turns tail and bolts out of there as fast as his legs can carry him. Sunmin and Gumin are left completely speechless, just wondering what in the world just happened. Gumin turns to Ji, his face a mask of pure awe. He can't believe it. "Who the heck are you? You're crazy." Sun whispers that he's the dude who sent Tu to the hospital, and Gumin is floored. Gumin's admiration is through the roof. He knew G was different, but this is a whole new level of cool. But Sunmin gets serious, warning them that Jamie's appearance means big trouble is on the way. He explains that Jamie works for Kim Jin-woo and LT, Unk and GT's crew. They scout strong fighters and force them into a secret fighting ring in the gym, and Sunmin drops the bombshell. G is their next target. Gumin can't even process that there's a fight club at their school. He adds that some students even join willingly to make cash. With Jan's insane skills, he could make a fortune. Gumin bonks his head, furious that Sun Eung-min wants G to join. Sung-min quickly clarifies that he just has faith in G's strength to handle it. So Ji-min turns to the silent G and puffs out his chest. He declares that he'll reject the offer for him. He figures G hates fighting and attention, right? So he's going to be the one to talk to them on his behalf. Gumin throws an arm around G's shoulder with a huge grin. He says, "That's what friends are for. Friends. Why are you acting like you're close to him?" Sung-min is not having it, calling him out. But Gumin proudly announces they're already friends. Later, back in the classroom, the air is thick with whispers and gossip. But the second G and Gumin walk in, the room goes silent. All eyes are on them. Instantly, a crowd swarms G, shoving a phone in his face. It turns out he's gone viral. The phone is playing a shaky video of that insane brawl at the park. They're all desperate for confirmation, but Gman steps up, playing bodyguard. He tells everyone to back off and go through him if they have something to say. The other students just scoff, mocking G-Min for latching onto the new popular guy. But suddenly, the classroom door slams open with a deafening crash, and in walks Kim Jin-woo with a lackey. Their entrance instantly silences the entire room. A wave of pure fear washes over the students. They know exactly who this is. Jin-woo stands at the front of the class and calmly asks for the new transfer student. Without a word, every single pair of eyes in the room drifts to the back, landing right on Shi-Jan. Jin-woo locks his gaze onto G. He and his enforcers start walking down the aisle straight for him. But just as they reach his desk, Gumman stands up, blocking their path. You got to admire the courage. "Who the heck are you?" Jin-woo glares. Gumman nervously stammers that he's GI and LT, Unk and GT's friend and representative. He says they can talk to him instead. Jin-woo's lackey gets right in Gman's face, mocking him for thinking he's some kind of big shot. And before Guan can even react, the goon decks him right in the face with a brutal punch. "Are you an idiot? Representative." Gumin stumbles back, clutching his face as the lackey sneers at him. He then grabs Man by the collar, laughing at how ridiculous he looks. With Gumin taken care of, Jinwoo finally steps up to G and LT, Unk and GT's desk. He gets straight to the point. He asks G if he's the one who messed up Jam's nose. G just stares back, his expression giving absolutely nothing away. Jinwoo pulls out a black card with a snarling dog on it. It's an invitation to the gymnasium's fight club, known as Hound Dog. He explains the scout already tried and failed, so he came himself. Holding the card out to G, he pushes the card closer, asking the million-dollar question, doesn't he want to make some money? Even while dazed, Gumman tries to speak up, insisting that G doesn't want to fight. Jinwoo and LT, Unk and GT's face darkens with pure rage. He's had enough of Gumman's interruptions. He snaps, delivering a vicious kick to Gumman's stomach that sends him flying across the room. Jinwoo stands over him, absolutely furious, screaming at him for not knowing his place. He roars at him to stay down before starting to stomp on Gon over and over again. The rest of the class can only watch in absolute horror as the one-sided beatdown continues. But then a hand shoots out and grabs Jinwoo's shirt, stopping him mid-stomp. Jinwoo spins around shock. It's G, and his eyes are filled with a cold, terrifying fury. G looks up at him, his expression dangerously calm. You know things are about to get real. Get your hands off, Jinwoo warns. But G's grip only tightens. Jinwoo says he really hates being touched, but G doesn't budge. Suddenly, the lackey snaps. He screams at G to get his hands off his boss and throws a wild punch. But that punch was moving in slow motion for G. He effortlessly ducks under the attack, making it look easy. And in one single fluid motion, he pivots and drives a vicious elbow strike right into the lack's face. The impact is absolutely devastating. The goon's head snaps back as blood flies from his mouth. And Jiang just stands there, his expression cold as ice. And just like that, Jinwoo lackey is eating the classroom floor. That elbow strike was absolutely brutal. But he's not done yet. Fueled by pure rage, he grabs a chair and screams, "You're dead. You hear me? Dead." And Shijin, he just stands there completely unfazed. He watches the guy charge like it's a slow-motion movie. With some insane parkour moves, he vaults over a desk, easily dodging the wild swing. He lands on another desk like a cat and immediately launches himself forward again. In a split second, he's airborne, delivering a devastating kick right to the dude's jaw. And that is a knockout. The goon collapses in a heap, completely lights out. The entire class is just staring, completely speechless. Gumin and his crew finally realize that viral video was 100% real. But the dude isn't done yet. He picks up the nearest desk and is about to yeet it at GI while screaming, "Let's see who'll be dead at the end of this." Right on cue, a teacher walks in. "Shijan, what are you doing up there?" he yells, completely lost. Seeing the absolute chaos, the teacher starts panicking, demanding to know what is going on. But Jinwoo, smooth as ever, steps in. He puts an arm around his beaten-up buddy and smirks. "Relax, teach. It's just a joke. We're not fighting." Then he turns his ice-cold gaze to Gyum. "Hey, representative," he says with a grin. "You'll be my contact for him now, right?" As he leaves with his crew, Jinwoo gives Jan one last look. "I'll see you again, Jan." He even has the nerve to pat the stunned teacher on the shoulder, telling him not to be so nervous. The disrespect is unreal. After school, the fight is all anyone can talk about. Sun is absolutely kicking himself for missing what his friend calls a scene straight out of a movie. They wonder where G is, figuring the teacher kept him behind for the brawl. But surprise, John isn't in trouble at all. He's in the counseling room, and the teacher just offered him some green tea. The teacher admits he was against G transferring here. He was worried the kid wouldn't fit in. He was worried about G and LT, Unk and GT. Silence, but agreed because Giant and LT, Unk and GT, as father and old friend trusted him. He remembers the last time he saw G 4 years ago back when he was in middle school. A flashback kicks in showing a younger Jan with a bowl cut just wailing on a punching bag. The kid already had insane power. His father proudly introduces the teacher. A sweat-drenched but super polite young G immediately bows and greets him. His dad boasts about how strong Shijan will be while the two old friends make plans to grab drinks later. Back in the present, the teacher sighs. He remarks how much John has changed from that bright, energetic kid. He lets G know that the other teachers are aware of his situation, but handling problems with other students, that is on him. He offers some final wisdom. His father's training was about more than just being physically strong. The teacher believes Jiang will eventually break his silence. And as he says this, rain begins to pour outside. Meanwhile, Sun Min and his buddy are caught in the downpour. They assume Jean was finally given up on recruiting Shijan. Suddenly, The burner phone Aram gave to G buzzes, but it is in Sunmin's pocket. He pulls it out. It is a message from Aram. Do you have an umbrella? Shungmin's face goes completely red. He quickly texts back. Why? She replies, telling him to meet her at the stationery store. His mind starts racing as he sprints toward the store. Is she really waiting for him with an umbrella? He peeks around the corner and his heart just sinks. There's Ari holding an umbrella, clearly waiting for G. Sun starts to panic. He thinks about getting John, but his jealousy takes over. No way. I cannot let them share an umbrella. But then crazy idea hits him. He imagines himself walking under that umbrella with them too. This dude is plotting. With his new plan locked in, Sun sprints back to the school to find G, leaving Iriam waiting in the rain. Moments later, Sunung shows up with his arm around Jain's shoulder like they are best buds. Ohan, Ariam, he says, acting all surprised. Aham just stares back, completely confused by this bizarre new friendship. The rain keeps falling as G and Ariam share an intense silent look. But instead of offering to share her umbrella, she reaches in her bag and pulls another one out to them. And Sunung's heart shatters. He realizes she was never going to share. The umbrella was always just for Jan. A fire lights up in his eyes. He thinks just once. I want her to look at me. Not G, but me. Oh Sungmin. He snatches the umbrella and throws his arm around G, thanking Ari. He makes up a story about how they were just about to check out a new game center together. Then he completely throws her off, asking if she wants to join them. Miriam is just standing there totally stunned. Meanwhile, Gumin is desperately running through the rain, clutching his head in panic. He sprints around a corner and freezes in pure terror. He has just run straight into an ambush. It is Jin Woo and LT, Unk and GT. Esgoon nose still bandaged from the fight. He greets Gumman with a sinister smile. Welcome, Representative. Gumman is trapped between the two thugs. He stammers. Well, what do you want? The goon just sneers back. You said you were the representative. I've got a little message for you to pass on to Jan. In a dark rain-slicked alley, the only sound is the brutal thud of fist meeting flesh. No, Heen. His face all taped up looms over a battered Gumman. He demands to know what Gon is supposed to do. Bloody and bruised, Gummin can barely choke out the words. He has to make John participate. Jamon grabs him by the shirt, sneering at him. Then he lands another vicious punch right to the gut. Tears streaming down his face. Guan finally breaks. He promises he'll talk to him. Jamon delivers a final chilling threat. The price for failure is his life. He's going to die. The man is completely broken, able to do nothing but groan in pain. But then a calm voice cuts through the rain. It's Kim Jin-woo telling Jamie to back off before the guy wets himself. He coolly pulls out a black card with a snarling red dog. The words hound dog are printed right below it. Jin-woo flicks.